What's up guys, John back here with another video, and today we're going to be putting these two guys head to head, the Elite 30 from Bluetti versus the Ecoflow River 3 Plus. And did the fact that Bluetti having almost 4 additional months give it the upper hand and making it a better unit? Let's find out in this long-term review. Let's get into some AC inverter testing now, see which one has the far superior inverter, or are they both the same? So for the first test, we're gonna use this drill right here. It's a 3 amp drill, and usually when it spikes, it usually goes up to about 500, 550 watts. So we'll try the Bluetti first and see which one handles the best. So 3, 2, 1. So clearly not a problem for the Bluetti. Try it one more time. 3, 2, 1. So clearly it spikes up to 300 watts, but absolutely no problem for the Bluetti. So let's go ahead and try the Ecoflow River 3 Plus. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, looks like it's absolutely no problem. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Barely shows that it even goes over 250 watts, so that's a pass on both units. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for future content just like this. How about an 8,000 BTU window air conditioner, which you would never power that off these tiny little units because the run time would be next to nothing, but for surge capabilities, let's try it out. So we currently got the fan on for the air conditioner. Let's try to crank it all the way down and see what it does. Absolutely no. As you can tell by the Bluetti screen, overloaded. Not a surprise. How about the Ecoflow River 3 Plus? I don't expect it to run it, but you never know, so we'll try it out. So we are currently at 95 watts. It's just powering the fan right now. See if I can get it to crank on. Hopefully I don't blow up my air conditioner. I took the meter out because it's just too annoying to read that upside down. So to save you guys the time, I ran the Ecoflow off camera because it needed like 5 minutes for the AC to reset, and it clearly could not run it. So that's not the point of this test right now. So the point of this test is just to show you that, you know, these units are definitely great units by all means, but you're not gonna run, you know, big high amperage draw appliances or 8,000 BTU air conditioners. These are meant for smaller appliances, like to make a cup of coffee or to run a little, you know, heated blanket, something of that nature. You know, anything that's over that 300-400 watt load, it's gonna surge way too high, and it's just not gonna run that well in these units. But if you wanna keep it below that 300-400 watt load, you could definitely power almost anything at that point, you know, but you're not gonna power the big high draw appliances. The whole point of making this content on this part of the video is just to show that, you know, they are a big inverter, but when it comes to real appliances in your home, they're not big enough for that. So now that we've seen pretty much what these units are both still capable of a year later, I want to get into a little bit of my point of view on which product I think is the best product, which one feels the best, which one performs the best. And I'm just gonna give you a little of my 2 cents just so you can make a better decision if you're trying to buy one, or if you're having a similar like problem, you can, you know, comment below, let me know. But we'll start with the Bluetti. So the Bluetti has been a pretty good system overall. I gotta say, I haven't had really any issues with it. It's doing its job, it's powering whatever it needs to power. It's got good UPS function, it's got a good app control, so a lot of that stuff is very controllable. The one thing I will say though, is this USB-C 140 watt right here, and I'll get you zoomed in just a little bit. So this 140 watt port right there actually failed on this unit within the first couple months, I wanna say. It was not very long at all, and I barely used it. I mean, I had it maybe for charging, you know, like my power banks or something small like that, you know, 100 watt power banks, and just one day I went to plug into it, absolutely nothing. All right, so we just got finished with the roughly 110 watt load. So the Bluetti finished with 225 watt hours, lasted for 2 hours and 24 minutes. So 235 watt hours. And now for the Ecoflow River 3 Plus. So lasted for 2 hours and 17 minutes, and we got 223 watt hours. 223 watt hours. All right, Bluetti Elite 30 is done charging. We're at 100%. And we finished with 1 hour and 9 minutes to fully charge using 350 watt hours. So not too bad, just a little over an hour and used 350 watt hours. So pretty good. All right, Ecoflow River 3 Plus just finished charging. We're at 100%, and we currently got 1 hour and 9 minutes and 299 kilowatt hours at use. So pretty good. And they both charge roughly the same exact time, both about 1 hour and 10 minutes. So pretty impressive for both units. So there's really not one faster than the other. They're both about the same speed. So either way, you're not gonna go wrong with them. I will say, however, though, the Ecoflow did stay a little cooler, so it's got a better cooling setup in there. It did hit 100 degrees, but the Bluetti was definitely way hotter than that, and I could just tell by how it felt from the side with the vents over here. You could feel the heat was very, very hot. So overall, it's just a better cooling system on the Ecoflow. So 1 hour, 9 minutes, and it used 299 watt hours, and it's more efficient too while charging. So. Now, unfortunately for the Ecoflow, it has to be flipped upside down. I hate how companies do that, but clearly Ecoflow decided to do it. So let's go ahead and try start it up in 3, 2, 1. Absolutely not. It tried. I'll give it to Ecoflow. I mean, it tried a couple times, but it clearly could not even come close to starting that 5 horsepower shop vacuum. Now, I'm gonna be quite honest on this test. I really don't expect neither one of these power stations to actually run it, but this is gonna be for the 5 horsepower Craftsman shop vacuum. So we'll see what they can do and we'll just go from there. I should also say real quick too that neither one of these units have their voltage feature where they drop the voltage and, you know, crank the amps or whatever. They're completely off. It's just its inverter power and that's it. All right, we're gonna start with the Bluetti. So clearly it's showing we got 121.3 volts, so that's good. And then we're gonna check the wattage on the screen right there. So 3, 2, 1. Didn't even try. Like I said, I'm not really surprised. I did not expect it to run that. Now, as far as the plastics on these units, they both are holding up very, very well. The one thing about Bluetti plastic is it's very, very solid. I will say that. They make their units very, very solid and rugged, and they don't bend at all. The Ecoflow is very solid too, but definitely has a little bit more give to it, you know? I think it's just more of the way they designed it. It's just got way more design going on to it instead of the Bluetti. It's just one solid chunk of plastic. But overall, after a year plus, the plastics still look very nice on both units. I mean, there's not any real scratches or scuffs. The Ecoflow got some tiny little scratches, you know, but nothing crazy. Both of them are still holding up very well a year later. Now, like I said, for the Ecoflow, that's pretty much my go-to when it comes down to, you know, UPS function and powering my router and my main, you know, electronics like that. And I've been using it daily for the last almost 6 months, or I would say 6 months to a year. And I've had no issues with it whatsoever. It's worked perfectly fine the whole entire time. And the Bluetti, on the other hand, I've used it off and on for a little bit. It hasn't really given me any issues, but it hasn't been as smooth as the Ecoflow. So, you know, this is where it comes down to, you know, money, cost factor. what you're really looking for, what brand do you trust the most, which brand do you, are willing to invest the money into. I just think, Ecoflow is the #1 brand when it comes to, portable power, and it's kind of like not even close. When you're talking this price point, yeah, the Ecoflow is a little bit more money, obviously, but you do get a little bit more features for the money. So I just think, like I said, ultimately it comes down to which one do you prefer the most, which ones do you like the most. And I just know, like, from using the Ecoflow pretty much daily as long as I have, I've had no issues with it whatsoever. The Bluetti, after a few months, the USB-C 140 watt port failed, and that might seem like a small little problem, not a big deal, but it's just something failed on it. And I don't like that, the fact that something failed that quickly. So I think that's all I got for you guys on this one. I hope you guys make a good buying decision based off this video, and like, subscribe, comment, share, everything. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.